What is up, you guys? I'm Charmx. Today I'm going to be reacting to 3 scary real hotel horror stories by Mr. Nightmare. Now, I'm not really sure what to expect. Obviously, it's going to be scary, but, like, what? Actually, hotels are a pretty scary place. I mean, there are a lot of haunted hotels, right? And there are also a lot of people in hotels, and you know, where there are more people, there's a higher chance that there are going to be more crazy people. Actually, from the situation of the hotel, this should be very scary. Anyway, with that being said, the original link's in the description. Make sure you go subscribe to Mr. Nightmare. Without any further ado, let's begin. Is that a jump scare? Oh boy.
This happened in the summer, and I believe I was about 12 at the time. I was staying in a hotel in a fairly large city with my mom and my younger brother. We were visiting other extended family, but chose not to stay in their house. My brother is younger than me by a decent amount, so I was usually told to keep an eye on him. On the day we arrived, my mom told me to do just that while she checked us in and received our room card. So, my brother and I sat down on a couch in the lobby and relaxed a little bit. While we were sitting, a man in about his mid-40s walked into the hotel. The couch was facing the hotel doors, so I got a good look at him. I remember that he was very average looking. Describing his features in detail could generate several different images. The guy comes in and sits on the couch opposite ours. I didn't think anything of it until I realized that he didn't go up to the counter first.
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird. Oh boy, what'd I say? Hotels are attraction for crazy people, it seems.
Just came in and sat down. It made me feel a little uncomfortable. Maybe I was being a bit paranoid, but I thought he might have followed us in. Thankfully, my mom called us over and told us that our room was ready. We left the lobby and went to our room. Shortly afterwards, we left the hotel to go meet family. I forgot about the man for the rest of the
Oh no! He's probably gonna go inside their hotel room while they're away. That's what I'm thinking.
Day. We returned at about 7, and my mom told us that we could go swimming in the hotel pool. We all went to our room, changed, and went to the pool. A few minutes after we got into the water, the same man from before walked in and sat down.
Well, at least you know he's not in their room hiding, so I mean, that's the one positive side of the situation.
He was wearing jeans and a sweater, so he definitely wasn't going swimming. Again, we didn't think much of it until I could see that my mom was visibly worried. She pointed him out to me, and she said that if he didn't leave within 5 minutes, we needed to go back to our rooms.
Or go and tell, like, the front desk security. Like, what? Why does no one ever thinks of, like, calling the police or calling, like, you know, tell someone. At least your mother is aware of the situation, but at least, like, tell the security or tell the front desk that this person's, like, following you around or whatever.
5 minutes passed and he was still there, so we got our things and left. By then, it was close to 8 o'clock. We had brought a rented movie to watch, so we planned to watch that and go straight to bed. I noticed that my mom was a little on edge because of the man who had been watching us, and I got a little more worried myself, too. Halfway through the movie, my mom got up to get into the shower. While she was in there, someone knocked on the door and said, "Housekeeping." I thought it was weird that the cleaning staff would come this late, but
I don't know, I haven't been to a hotel in a long time, like 5 years, but, you know, I don't think they would come late at night when people are most likely going to be there. They'd come, you know, logically they'd come earlier in the day when people are out doing things. And also, make sure the door is locked and you'll be fine.
But we needed another towel, so I answered the door.
No, what you didn't look to the eye hole. Well, I'm getting riled up. Who could it be?
I wish I hadn't been so stupid. It was the same creepy man. He gave me a smile and a little wave. I just stood there, kind of motionless.
Close the door!
My mind automatically went to the worst possible situation.
Close the door!
Kidnapping, rape, torture, etc.
Close the door!
I heard the water in the shower turn off. He stood there as well for a moment, and then he spoke. "How was your swim?" At that moment, my mom came out of the shower, saw the man at the door, pulled me back, and slammed the door.
Man, at least your mother has some common sense. Why didn't you close the door?
She locked it. Then she called the front desk from our hotel phone to
That's what you should have done right after you were done swimming. I'm getting riled up just... I'm watching this to get spooked, not angry.
report the guy. I told her to just call the police, but she didn't listen.
Do
She then
both.
requested we switch rooms.
Do
I
both.
then heard footsteps stomping down the hallway away from our room. Thankfully, the guy had left. After that, we switched hotel rooms and didn't see the guy again during our stay.
Oh, that was something. Is that the end of the story? That was freaking crazy. Like, the first time when they came into the lobby and sat down, I mean, you can't really tell anyone because you have no proof and the guy just walked in. So you can't really go and complain or whatever. But the swimming part, that was weird. I would have at least gone and told the people at the front desk what was going on. And the door part, when the guy was outside of their room, like, you should have looked through the peephole. Why didn't you look through the peephole? Like, that's what they're there for. You just opened it up when it could have been this, and it was this crazy guy. Man, I got riled up from that story.
Have you ever gotten an uneasy feeling staying in a hotel room, especially by yourself? Likely not, and I also doubt you've ever been in a hotel room by yourself.
Yeah, nope.
But when I was a kid, I always got scared sleeping in hotel rooms. I would always keep looking back at the dark corners of the room every 20 seconds, thinking there would be somebody standing there. My fear not only drove me crazy, it drove my parents crazy, as I would always insist that I would sleep between them until I was around 9 or 10 years old. Anyway, eventually I had to grow up, or at least give off the impression, and started sleeping in my own bed or sharing the bed with my sister. Now I'm 24 years old, living on my own, and have to take a lot of business-related trips for my job. On one particular out-of-town trip, I was staying at a Comfort Inn in North Carolina, with all the expenses paid by my job, of course. I was in the area for a meeting with an office in a different town, and the inn was my home for the night. It was across the street from some big car dealership. That's all I remember about the surroundings. Anyway, I was off the next day, so I could look forward to just relaxing in the hotel and watching a couple movies.
So far, everything's normal, and I'm just waiting for the freaking switch.
Ironically watching the first Saw movie, and
Why? Why would you be watching a horror movie in, like, a place which you were petrified of when you were young?
Where, during the scene where Adam was hearing sounds in his apartment, my childhood paranoia started to come back for a bit, as I thought I heard little crackling type noises coming from inside the closet.
Oh, so there is someone in the closet. Why would there be someone in the closet? I guess he just hasn't come out yet.
Being 24, I told myself that I had to get over this nonsensical childish fear. I simply raised the volume on the movie and tried to ignore it.
Oh, there's gonna be someone in the closet. We all know it. We all know there's gonna be someone in the closet. Oh boy, why? Why though? And you're 24. You're an adult basically, right? You're not like a little kid where someone's gonna try to get you. You're a freaking adult.
At the same time, I popped 2 sleeping pills into my mouth so that I'd be wiped out by the time the movie was over.
Oh no, and the person in the closet's gonna come out.
Eventually, I flipped off the TV and rolled over onto my side to finally get some shut-eye. That was when the crackling noises became apparent again. It wasn't constant or anything.
Call the
it
cops!
Was just like once every minute or so I'd hear this crackling type noise that I just can't describe coming from the closet. It wasn't happening too frequently to really bother me, and the sleeping pills were...
Just go and look to make sure. Just go and look to make sure. He's just like lying on his bed hearing these weird sounds in his closet and it's like, oh, that doesn't bother me.
were knocking me out at that point, so I was out within like 10 minutes.
Oh no!
The next thing I remember, I woke to the sound of cloth being rustled around. I sprang to an upright position, but it was literally too dark to even see within a few feet in front of me. After I flipped on the bedside light, there I saw somebody dressed in all black.
I knew there was a jump scare coming. I could sense it.
With a hood over his head.
Get him!
He's 6'5", 250 pounds, rummaging through my bag.
How did that guy fit in your closet?
I screamed at the top of my lungs, and in response, he fled the room. He had stolen my wallet and my watch, but he had also created a lasting memory that only digs deeper into a very large childhood fear of mine. I have never heard a story about anything like this on the news or anything, So for something like this to happen to a person like me, somebody who had such an odd, specific fear as a child, was simply catastrophic to me.
Yeah, it would be quite crazy to have that happen, and your fear being that happening. But at the same time, you heard noises coming from your closet, and you were like, oh, that's fine. You didn't even check it out. And you were watching a horror movie which only should have made it worse, and you still thought to yourself, oh, that's fine that I'm hearing these weird sounds that I shouldn't be hearing. I don't know.
When I was 17, I started to develop some beef with my dad, who's a huge hothead. Tensions would grow worse through the years, and it got to the point that I would commonly have to leave for the night after getting into huge fights with my dad about personal things that I won't talk about. Sometimes I would stay at a friend's house or check into a hotel. It was May 9th, 2015. I was 21 years old, and after another huge scene back at home with my dad, I had to get out of there.
Are you kidding me? Every time!
There for my own good. I checked into a nearby hotel, the Quality Inn and Suites. It was literally half a mile from my house. I'd be throwing away a little less than $100 for it, but I had nowhere else to go.
$100? If you're gonna be spending that much a night, it's probably cheaper. It's probably cheaper just to move out.
It was early this time around. Usually these outbursts happen around nighttime. It was like 4 o'clock, so I decided to just hang out by the outdoor pool and clear my head. It was funny, I was the only one around in this hotel. The pool was empty, the hallways were empty, even the lobby was empty, except for, of course, the desk worker.
Oh, that's weird.
Then again, it was only May, and it wasn't like we lived in some huge vacation destination of a town. My room was in the middle of the hall on the second floor.
That's a weird place to have a room just in the middle of the hall. I mean, it's not like there would be that much room. Like, where would you put your bed? I mean, the halls aren't that big. Alright, I'm done with that joke.
I have no idea why they'd given me that room, since it seemed like I was one of the only few people staying in the hotel. I hung out in my room after the pool for a bit. That's when there was a very light tapping on the door. I waited.
That does not sound light to me. That was someone like, bam, bam, bam.
For someone to yell housekeeping, but they never did.
Housekeeping?
Therefore, I ignored it. And to my surprise, even though I had the do not disturb sign on the door handle, I heard the beep of the lock on the door, and then I heard the door slowly opening.
Oh, that's not good. That's not good.
I called out, no thank you, not right now. I couldn't see the employee at the door because there was a wall that blocked the view of the door from the bed. There was a pause, and I repeated myself, growing a bit curious.
Now you're growing curious? Like, if the person didn't even say housekeeping, and then they freaking opened the door, oh, I'd be very curious.
Suddenly, the door slammed shut. It actually startled me. I got up to actually go follow them and tell them that that was rude.
Oh no.
When I stepped into the hall,
oh, no.
I looked to my right. Nobody. I looked to my left, and at the end of the hall, I saw the right leg of a woman turning the left corner further down the hall before disappearing. How did she get there so fast, I wondered.
The person's still in your room. The person's still in your room. That's what I think. I think they're still in your room, like, hiding somewhere.
I ran down to the end of the hall, and that's when I heard another door closing. When I turned the corner, nobody. Just maybe 20 closed, unoccupied hotel doors. I was so confused and honestly a bit freaked out. I went down to the front desk to complain about the rude employee. The woman at the counter said that must be Rosa. She said she would question her about slamming the door later on. I thanked the woman and then went out to eat at the nearby TGI Fridays down the road. When I got back to the room, I was on the phone talking to my mom, who said that I shouldn't come back because my dad was still super pissed. I entered my room and told her how depressed I was with all this fighting bullshit, and she understood. When I hung up, it was only 8 o'clock. The person's in your room! To be over. I brushed my teeth, watched a little TV, and went to sleep at around 9 o'clock.
Oh my goodness.
I awoke to a noise. At first, I didn't know what it was.
What'd I say?
I rubbed my eyes, sat up, and listened.
told you someone was in your room.
You have to let them in.
There was somebody standing at the left edge of my bed, towering over me. I screamed and felt like throwing up at the same time. It was a dreadful,
Oh my goodness, that got me. That kind of got me.
horrifying feeling. The person then grabbed around my throat and started repeating the words, "You piece of shit." It was an older woman with a weak grip. I was able to escape.
Tackle her!
I ran to the door of the room. I heard her following me, but she stopped at the door when I ran down the halls to the front desk. The woman at the front desk admitted that one of the employees had lost one of her master keys that had access to all of the rooms in the hotel, something they were obligated to report to the head of the hotel.
Wow.
I was furious. Of course, I got a refund, gave some info to the cops, and then went home that night where
At least you got a refund. At least you got a refund.
my dad actually showed something close to sympathy after I explained what happened. Ever since, I've actually never had to leave the house for the night, and I hope it stays that way. Oh yeah, and I have absolutely no idea whatever became of that crazy nutcase woman that tried to kill me.
That was crazy. That was crazy. I told you there was some lady in your friggin' room. Or, man, she might not have been in your room at all. Because if she had the master key, she could just come in whenever she wanted. But anyway, I hope you guys liked this video. The first two stories really made me mad because of the way the people acted, which is, it's the same with like every horror movie. People just make the worst decisions. And yeah, the first two stories got me riled up. The last one, kind of, not really that much. But yeah, if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, possibly share with a friend. If you're new, hit subscribe to join the family. Also, make sure you go subscribe to Mr. Nightmare. With that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Boop!